At the edge of the universe, 400 men and women are probing the immeasurable blackness of space. Their leaders are an Earthman with no fear and a stranger with no heart. Travel beyond our time and solar system, into new galaxies, into worlds beyond your dreams. Star Trek, every week, in color.
F it, we're doing it live. Welcome to Star Trek. Hey.
Yeah, let's do it.
Due to some audio problems in the Dantron studios, I'm crawling through the Jeffries tubes as we speak.
Nice.
Actually, Larry, we should just bring John in to weigh in on the Jeffries tube conversation too.
Oh yeah, no,
sure. Let's do it. I'm all about Jeffries tubes.
In the green room before you showed up, we were talking about the function of Jeffries tubes. Like what's their deal?
Work rate. What's the deal?
The undercraft tubes.
Well, Jeffries tubes are because originally, right, the whole idea of the Starship Enterprise is that you don't access it from the outside, you fix stuff from within, right?
Yes.
It's more of like a submarine. Like you can't just go outside of a submarine and be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking access this panel, right? So you need Jeffries tubes to weave in and out of things, in and out of different areas, different decks and systems, so that you can get in there and actually fiddle with the fiddlesticks,
Totally.
That was my contention, that they're like crawl spaces in between decks to access stuff for maintenance, like crawl spaces and tornado homes, right? And Dan was saying he's more the like modern Star Trek guy, where of course turbo lifts are in this giant, fucking roller coaster thing. So he's saying that there are these things that go the length of the ship, and I'm like, man, they're just they're ladders with computers on them to fix your oil.
Is this or is this not a Jeffries tube? This is definitely from one of the films. I don't know if this qualifies as I thought this was what they were calling the modern Jeffries tube.
Yeah, it looks like a Jeffries tube.
Yeah,
but see, that's like two guys could stand in that hallway.
Oh, there's a guy standing there right there.
Yeah, I see that.
There's a guy there.
I don't like that.
I think that's more like some kind of like, that's how you get the heavy equipment in between places.
Yeah.
Because those big pipes going across the front, that's not.
Is that the heavy equipment?
Jeffrey I mean, that's.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Float through there.
Yikes.
It gets wild in the Jeffries tube. Let me just say,
Riker.
Apparently,
to me, I think of the Jeffries tubes as a way that if you lost all power in the ship, had no turbo lifts and no transporters, you should be able to get from anywhere to anywhere in the ship. Essentially, there's an access on every deck to a series of Jeffries tube, which might even go in different directions. Like to me, one runs the length of the lower decks, and then maybe climbs up the neck to depending how big the ship is, you could get a kind of one that you could walk, or you could do the ladder deal, which we've seen, right? They have parts that have ladders of Jeffries tubes and parts that even have stairs. So anyway,
I don't think Jeffries tubes need to be as holistic as that. I think they just need to be, yes, you need to be able to go, okay, we're going to go up maintenance shaft 7, and we're going to hit junction point 13, and then we're going to go this way, and then we're going to go that way, right? That's more of
I don't think there's any way that there is like a designed idea for Jeffries tubes. I think that those are the ultimate form follows function thing, that like a Jeffries tube is just where you need to get access to the subquantum framostat, because every once in a while you're going to fly through a quantum string. And
I think of them as wiring conduits. I mean, that's really what they are. They're where like the main wiring, if there is still wiring, whatever the hell's going through these tubes. This could just be ketchup and mustard.
You guys,
and ranch dressing in the blue tube, I think.
When I was in college, I spent a summer on a 62-foot McGregor sailboat that didn't go anywhere, and my job was just to clean it. And I'm sure you guys have been on ships, little sailing ships. Every once in a while, there's going to be a little access part, and you open that up, and there's fucking something in there that you have to turn on or off, and that's just a Jeffries tube to me. It's like we're telling some kind of space story, and we need a thing where we have to have a guy like up under the car with sparks flying on him. Well, let's put him in this little thing.
Yeah, but I mean, a very functional, thoughtful thing to design into spaceships that I mean, I guess Star Wars had the smugglers panels and stuff, but this gives a whole new level to thinking about the design of a starship and making it feel more real, in my opinion. I love the Jeffries, just the concept of it.
Yeah, don't compare Star Trek to Star Wars because it's just the tone is different, right?
Yeah, totally.
In Star Trek, they're like, oh my God, we have to change the oil because we've got to the 3,000 miles thing and it's just time to take it into Starbase One. And in Star Wars, it's like, what? I'm trying to get us out of here. Why did you take this out? What the? Everything's a fucking panic in Star Wars, right?
They are very panicky people.
What's the deal with Jeffries tubes? Come on, everybody.
Yeah, nobody does that. Maybe Scotty when he's drunk.
Well, anyway, they're great as a plot device. They're great as a thing that we know exists, that has existed throughout the series, and they take different liberties, I think. I think in the modern age, a Jeffries tube is a fully walkable, almost hallway like this.
I mean, it's possible
in those tubes.
The Jeffries tubes also. So one of the problems with Star Trek starship designs is there's a lot more volume than you'll ever see on TV, right? So to me, Jeffries tubes also help solve that problem where it's there's so much more volume. There's a very famous YouTube video about how 1,000 people on the Enterprise D covers one little area, right? And then 99% of it is just empty space if you put everybody in all one room, right? And Jeffries tubes kind of help solve that problem for me, where it's yes, if you were just to make this a cardboard cutout, like an empty box, there's all this volume, but there isn't because there's stuff in there like Jeffries tubes and warp cores and bulkheads, and you have to have shit to stop the asteroids from hitting you and shit,
Those little robot things from Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I'm not
a fan of robots. I don't know if you guys know this.
No.
I don't like robots. I don't like AI. I don't like any of this shit.
Nobody does.
Use your brain, America.
The wave of stories about how the generative AI wave is hype, it's crested, it's booming. People are like, all right, it's a nifty thing, but it's not.
Well, because they oversold it, right?
Yeah,
they were like, oh my God. It's like you have an artificial intelligence. It's not an artificial intelligence. It's a Google result in the form of a paragraph. That's what it is.
Well, and it's only possible.
Aren't we all?
It's not to me, in my mind, the best programming and software is stuff that is like an elegant written piece of software. And this stuff it only works with brute force and huge amounts of data. And there's a huge power cost as well that's completely hidden because these guys are venture capital driven. It's a lot like Bitcoin in that way. There's tremendous power costs associated with it.
Well, that only took 8 minutes.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, Larry. I think that is that wave is over. Hey, but dude, if we can't talk about artificial intelligence on a show about science fiction and Star Trek, I don't know where we can talk about it. So,
right. I just hate the fact that people rely on. They're instead, I had a kid in class using his phone, an AI app to do his math homework. Bro, you already have a calculator. What? Anyway, all right, I'm done.
The one I read today is Amazon is flooded with AI-generated books, including ones about foraging wild mushrooms that just tell you to eat poison. They just if you buy this book, you're gonna die.
That's what I try to tell. That's why I have a zero, no AI, automatic zero policy in my classroom.
Makes sense in school.
And it's school, right? Yeah. And I'm like, guys, best case scenario, you're getting something that's accurate. You have no idea if it's accurate or not. More realistically, you're getting something that isn't accurate and you don't know it's accurate. So you're still going to get a fucking zero. So, anyway.
Consider cheating if you can catch them.
Yeah. Okay. Blade Runner. Philo T. Fuzzworth said, I saw Blade Runner. and I guess this is when we let loose the confetti, right?
Larry and I both saw something, and we got hot takes on the
Hot
Flash
takes.
movie.
Hot
we
take corner
definitely
coming in.
should talk about. Although on my rewatch, my review that I posted on Facebook has tempered a little bit, but I still don't think it's a good movie.
So Lower Decks comes back September 7th, and I'm really looking forward to it. I love Lower Decks. I don't know about you guys. I really love Lower Decks. I hate everything else, and I love Lower Decks. So
This might be the last Star Trek you get for a long time, right?
I hope so.
I'm glad it's coming back.
God willing.
Todd willing, yeah. I'm glad it's coming back, but you know what? I'm more looking forward to finding out when For All Mankind season 4 is coming. That's the one.
Yeah, what the hell is going to happen with For All Mankind, dude?
That's the one I'm dying. They're probably sitting on it because of the strike, right? Apple Plus will have something at Christmas time when no one else has something new, right?
Because they brokered deals with the union or something like that. I know.
No. Do you know For All Mankind? It's Russia. So John,
do I know it? Have I seen serious Star Trek before? I know Larry likes For All Mankind.
We
know
that
too.
So
Dantron likes AI. Larry likes For All Mankind. We know these things.
So season 4 is in the can, and usually we'd been watching them in August.
Oh, I see.
And now it's August 29th, and they haven't even announced when it's coming. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's January, honestly, because just to make it have it so everything can die down, assuming they start shooting stuff in October again, and the writers and actors get a little something.
I mean, do you think that's likely?
Yes, I think it's likely, but what I think is not likely that everyone else seems to be counting on, that everyone hugs it out at the end. And what the studios didn't count on is that they thought they were going to get away with something, and all they did was make everybody mad.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just not going to be good. When the strike gets resolved, in the past, everybody went, well, that was hard, but it had to happen. And okay, and let's go forward in good faith, till the next time. And that's just absolutely not going to happen this time. There's no trust whatsoever.
I don't think there's any chance it happens before the holidays, because I just know they just want to let's see these guys get through Christmas without a paycheck and see if they, maybe they're going to start to crumble after. I wouldn't put it past anybody to think.
I wouldn't either. I think it's about half and half that happens. Because the only reason I'm saying October is because then the next fall TV show schedule goes away if they don't hit that.
Yeah, right.
Or it's all reality game shows again.
There's so many options too. They can just lean in and go, all right, we'll just ride it out for a while. Let's just see who blinks on this one.
Yeah, I mean, they might, but then, I mean, it's crazy. Why would you do that? It's like cutting off your own legs.
Oh, I think it would destroy. It would really could destroy the last big media players if it really continues on for long enough.
I absolutely think that would happen. You would see some too big to fail guys just straight up failing, or Disney and Apple buying everybody and the government being unable to stop it.
Or just the right creators get out there and say, let's crowdfund our next movie. And if it's the right people, you can get millions and millions of dollars. You could make something happen and at least kick up.
But the reason that doesn't work is because the right guys that could support that have absolutely no interest in building that infrastructure of their own home studio, right? Because then, I mean, what's to stop you from just calling up Robert Rodriguez and going, hey man, I got this great idea. If you're Tom Hanks or somebody,
but
let me go shoot in your garage where you've set it up already.
But there's going to be so much talent languishing and including equipment and capabilities, VFX. If the VFX strike happens the same way, it's going to be that's an even bigger potential destroyer, because that's what is Hollywood without VFX. There would be no Flash movie without every single shot of that thing are in various states of CGI distress. Like there's good, really great shots in that movie, and there is some straight up garbage going on in that movie. I don't understand how.
And so what?
It's garbage.
Like every movie ever.
Well, the plot though is where it falls down. I loved all the Batman stuff. I loved all the Supergirl stuff. Kara Zor-El stuff was really cool. I like the action scenes, no doubt, but the story itself completely falls apart. It makes no sense.
Sure, it does.
I'll ask you one question.
One
question. You answer this question for me based on what we've seen in the movie, and maybe I'll totally turn around. Who killed Wally's mom? I mean, not Wally, Barry's mom.
Savitar.
That is never explained in the movie.
It's
never
absolutely explained in the
never
movie.
shown.
I just watched it. I literally just watched it,
looking for every clue. Like all they do is why would Barry not go back in time to when, instead of trying to go back to let a video camera see his dad or whatever to prove an alibi that doesn't even make sense, because he's there right as she gets stabbed. He's outside the door, so he's still at the scene. Even if he went and bought that can of spaghetti sauce, he's right there. Who stabbed her? Why can't he just go and see and know and then find the person who killed his mom? Not go through this elaborate thing with spaghetti sauce and what, like, it totally lost me on that.
They explain literally every single thing of that. It's just you don't want to. It's not going into people's heads. It's not you personally. Lots of people aren't getting that because
so they failed to make that clear.
Okay.
So that's why I say it's bad. That's what I'm saying is bad. But
it's not. It's like a remember the 80-page Giants where you had some nonsense with the Flash?
I love those.
Right. That is the version of those. So their miscalculation is that there's not a movie supporting audience that even understands what an 80-page comic book for a quarter like fucking means.
You know,
right? There's 3 Batman in that movie.
I loved it. I loved that.
Okay, so how come you're fine with that, but you don't get the Flash part?
I'll tell you what. What is Barry Allen's number one? If you were to just spell out his character, what's his number one trait you would describe him as?
Well, this movie, you can't answer that question because you haven't said which Barry you're talking about.
Yeah, any of them, because
but see, that's
even Barry himself
for every Barry.
But even Barry himself, older Barry, says younger Barry is just annoying. He's annoying. He's an annoying character. He's an annoying person. So he's not fun as a lead. That's what I'm saying. He's okay.
He's not the lead though.
He was okay in the Flash. You're sure the guy called the Flash is not the lead? Like they're both annoying. That guy is annoying.
No, the younger version is annoying.
He was annoying in more annoying. He was annoying in Justice League. He was.
So you know the thing they're doing, right? He's autistic, man. So you're just saying that autistic, neuroatypical people are just fucking assholes and don't get to be stars of movies because
I don't know where that comes from, but like he's
annoying. Movie. Watch the movie. He has no social skills. It's not because he's annoying. It's because he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, I get it. That guy does. That kind of guy doesn't make a great hero in the Flash movie. That's not the Flash from the comics I know at all.
I think that's the best way to make that guy a hero, because you're literally seeing Robert Frost's 2 Road Diverged in the Woods in the same frame. So both of these guys are fucked up, neuroatypical fuckheads. One guy's figuring it out, like he goes home and watches Letterkenny every day. And then the other guy is just like, I don't know what to do, to the point where he doesn't even get a haircut.
Yeah. To me, it was a homage to Back to the Future.
Yeah. They say that.
I mean, it's explicit. The music cues are there. It's in your face. Like they're like Back to the Future. Just like everything is in your face. Just like Batman is like, This is why
it cracks me up that you think it's a bad movie. Because you just don't like it. Which is a different thing.
No.
I don't understand it. That's a different thing. Like
it's just it has a lot of flaws in that.
But everything has flaws.
I get it. But
why is that a criticism? Well, it's not perfect. Okay, you're just
the
wasting
hero
some
is
air.
annoying.
If we're trapped in a submarine,
specific.
don't say that in the middle of our argument while we're dying.
Wait,
Nothing's perfect. Oh,
no, a hero is
great.
pretty.
Now we die 7 minutes earlier.
An annoying hero, though, is a pretty specific thing. He's just an annoying guy, and he's neurodivergent. Whatever, that just doesn't make him a great hero. Other things that some of the goofy comedy and stuff just didn't play for me. Wasn't funny. Didn't like the character. It took me out of the movie. I screamed 10 times while watching.
Why are you so upset about this that you're just excluding John from this conversation and just ranting about something that, like, okay, like it's like me going, I'm never fucking watching The Expanse, and John going, dude, just make it past episode 4 and you'll love it. And I'm like, no, because I'm poopy. That's what
I mean. The only reason John hasn't watched the movie, but he is free to chime in, because especially here we talked about the multiverse angle, because that part of it could have been so fun, but it was the CGI was mystifying what they were trying to do with that circle thing, and really cheap and cheesy looking in some of the homage parts, especially the Adam West stuff, and even the Christopher Reeves. They was like really not good cinema quality in 2023.
What? And you know why, though, right? So, like,
I don't know why. I don't.
That criticism just seems so churlish. It's like there's no source material to make good CG for the stuff from the 50s and 60s and 70s. It's just, and so there's, like you said, every frame of that movie has a VFX in it. So I don't know if you read the credits, but there's 17 VFX houses. So obviously there's no way to make sure that there's a continuity of experience there. Like watch a Transformers, you can kind of start seeing, oh, that's Legendary, and that's, fucking Stan Winston, and that's whoever. Because there's no way to keep a continuity of image.
I don't know. That's what an art director's for. That's what some movies manage to do, but they didn't in this movie. So
name a movie that has managed to do that.
I mean, look at the Lord of the Rings movie. Look at the Weta stuff. That's what they specialize in. Look at King Kong versus Godzilla or whatever. Anything high special effects, yes, but the shots look good from shot to shot.
Right, but you're talking about movies that were made before the pandemic. Like all the VFX houses are under a crush now. Yeah, there comes Rick. That's what a VFX supervisor's for. But Rick, Mr. Hollywood Big Shot, when there's 17 houses, and who's fucking wrangling that, right? And plus, you guys are all late by 3 months because we kept putting it off because of the pandemic. And now we have 3 Batmans in it because we don't even really know which Batman we're going to use because everybody's fucking going everywhere. I think that movie is a fucking achievement that it makes sense because there's so much fucking bullshit against it.
I'll give you that much. It had a lot of writing
against it. I'm glad that movie came out instead of Batgirl because I got a bunch of fucking cool ass shit in one movie that, it's not perfect and everything has flaws and the CG sucks, but who cares? Because you fucking saw George Clooney going, hey man, I'm fucking Batman. And you're like, what? And I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
And then his tooth falls out, and then it's just there's very odd comic choices that didn't work for me, but that's okay. But
that's not even comedy, man. That's telling you that that's another Barry. We're following like 16 Barrys through the multiverse. I just get it. Yeah,
it's a callback to when he glued his tooth in earlier in the movie.
Know.
So what? I mean, who cares?
So wait,
is
George
we know that it's him. I just didn't that one. I just didn't understand. But it's okay. I don't have to. It's where this part. It felt like a PowerPoint presentation. The part with Nicolas Cage fighting the spider, super cool, badass. Loved seeing that. The part where Christopher Reeves stands there and Adam West doesn't even move and is standing there. Like it just didn't feel like what they wanted this to be, which was like a Crisis on Infinite Earths type event movie. And it just felt like they didn't have the budget to pull it off either on VFX or to pull in all the Aquaman and any of the real other than Wonder
Didn't
Woman
they
for 2
already?
seconds.
Didn't they already do that with the CW show? Didn't they already have like that?
Yes,
big,
They
like,
did this
crossover
exact
event?
story.
Why these people are so goddamn unoriginal?
Except the killer is different in the story, in those other storylines. They have the whole reverse Flash character that they just they don't bring in. There's not a great villain in this movie. There's 3 times of an annoying character in this movie.
Well, isn't
So,
Ezra Miller in the movie?
Yeah, the villain. He's the
Yeah, the
villain,
villain.
and in many senses of the word. He's just villainous. He's a villainous
That's
dude.
my contribution to this conversation.
Well, he exposes
Ezra Miller,
himself
too.
naked to people in the movie. There's a lot of weird moments, just a lot of weird stuff. Overall,
What?
I think it's watchable, and there are super fun parts that I actually want to go back and watch again. The Supergirl battle was tough. All the Batman stuff was pretty tough, although unrealistic. Some of the Affleck stuff, where he's getting dragged all over the place, just didn't feel too real, but still fun to watch. I loved his Batman, the design on the Batman suit for Affleck. It's cool. The design of the Flash costumes, every single one of them, horrible. He looks just goofy. Just his face in that stupid helmet, he looks goofy. And that's not, I just don't think that carries a movie called The Flash. And that's how I feel about that.
Cool.
Great. All right. So it's agreed. Flash is a bad movie. What's the next topic?
All right.
We'll move on to the
None of that adds up to a bad
Next movie.
'Cause I don't agree with any of that. I think
Well,
his costumes are fucking fantastic. I think they're awesome. I think the baby shower thing that everybody's like, there's a baby in a microwave. I'm like, that's the fucking funniest thing I've ever fucking seen. Like,
you really want to go into that scene?
How is that a bad movie? This is the
I
part
thought
I don't
that
get.
some of those parts were cool. Some of those make no sense in the baby scene specifically.
See,
no,
this is
the physics, Larry, to physics, it made no sense because how do you
Speed
guzzle?
Force.
He's okay. Yeah, that's the magical answer. But if
Right,
you have if you
right.
have magical speed force, why do you need to eat candy bars? That doesn't like
Because
all that
he's
stuff.
a human being.
You know,
They
because
got
they're
hit by
trying to pull in
lightning
from every
and
Flash character and
chemicals
smash
and
it.
didn't die. Like, this is insane that you are so upset about this because it's so dumb.
I
It's
love
like,
the Flash. I love comics. I
have to
love
just-
movies. I hated this movie. That's all I'm passionate
but
about.
that's
it.
great. I don't have a problem with that at all. It's when you say it's a bad movie.
Okay. I guess I can say
All
objectively
right, there we go.
on the Dantron scale, I give it I have to give it at least 3 out of 5 for trying real hard and delivering some really cool stuff. Michael Keaton in action as Batman, actually looking kind of neat and doing neat stuff, as opposed to just like stiffly doing nothing like he does in most of the Tim Burton movies. I enjoyed that for sure.
Let me ask you, why would you watch it again if you didn't like it so much?
Well, 1, I fell asleep the first time. 2, I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss. I wanted to go back and look specifically at the parts about the murder and go like, why wouldn't he ever have just been even curious if he could time travel? Just go back and just use your Flash speed and see everything. See who
John just left.
see who stabbed your mom. You know what I mean?
He says because when he did that, he turned himself into Savitar. He did stop it. And then he became, then the other Barry went and prevented him from that. And then he turned himself into Savitar. I mean, the whole thing is all there, man.
It could have, no, it wasn't all there.
It
wasn't all there. If I could watch it twice and it just didn't even penetrate.
Dude, I watched this in the theater and I had the same experience. It's just like people have forgotten what movies provide and how to get that out of them as entertainment because the world is so different now. To the point where somebody like you that does know better is like, well, wait, I'm really up in this Flash thing. And you're like, yeah, but like, that's not helping. Right there he is.
Well, no,
there he is.
It doesn't have to be. It didn't have to be comics accurate because it definitely wasn't. But it was just not as a time travel movies are always hard anyway, so they're very confusing and sometimes maybe they're tough for everybody to grok. But it didn't make sense just from a character motivation standpoint. If you can go back in time and you're there and your mom's getting killed, you're going to focus on the videotape and your dad. You're a forensic scientist, mind you. Like the whole time when he doesn't know and he wants to change these things, when he goes back in time, how about go there and see who's stabbing your mom? This just doesn't make any sense to do anything else.
He did. They just didn't show it. They said it. And
they showed everything else. They showed everything through time, backwards and forwards, but they didn't spell that out.
That's why he does the thing with the tomato sauce, because every time he goes to fix it, it fucks it up. And that's why Batman is 3 different guys now. So the one subtle thing that he can change is just move where the tomato sauce is. And all it changes is the only difference is his dad looks up. And that's enough.
I got that.
It doesn't. Okay, so what's the big goddamn deal?
And it changed, and that changed who Batman was too, right? It was that change was small.
No, but see, that's the thing. The way when Michael Keaton explains how time travel works for their movie, which is what it is. It's not time travel movies.
I totally get it.
That when you instead of having 2 pieces of spaghetti next to each other, they cross and then it snaps. So now past and future is different.
Totally.
So by the time he gets to the multiverse strand where George Clooney is Batman, he's fucking Batman for that multiverse. Like, what confuses everybody is you think that Barry is the main star of the movie, and he just isn't.
Well, but what I got out of that is that Barry there was one small subtle change. It was small that saved his dad because he showed up on camera. But that change also had other repercussions, which included changing who Batman was now. Like, there's no way to change. I don't see any other reading of the movie, honestly, than that.
It changed the audience perspective on who Batman was. Batman was always George Clooney. Batman was always Michael Keaton. Batman was always Pattinson. Batman's always Adam West. That's what the fucking Chrono Bowl is about. I mean, the whole thing is there. Just that you don't get it and you don't like it, and it's not fucking A, B, C, D. That's fine. It just doesn't make it a bad movie.
That part doesn't make that part I don't quite understand. Like, to me, it was that you have time as a fulcrum in this timeline. If you make a change anywhere, it changes the future and the past from that point, right? So he kept making these changes, and he kept piling up and not working and whatever. Finally, he found the one subtle change that was just enough to make the change. But then he gets back and he's like, who the fuck is this? This is not Michael Keaton.
He doesn't get back.
I'm expecting.
I don't know why you keep forgetting this. It's not a point that gets broken, right? It's like that he explained that. Yeah, but now 1 second later you can do the same thing, and now it's broken again. And 1 second later. So for the 4.5 billion years of existence, there's a infinite number of broken spots of time changing back and forth. See what I mean? So the closest he could get to still having his mom being alive and still having stuff not be fucked up is the timeline where George Clooney is.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Essentially,
he's not changing anything other than where he's going. But that's like kind of the point of the movie.
But I mean, he made
what
a change.
The Chrono Bowl is the point of the spaghetti, right? And everybody's all hooked on like, the CG doesn't make any sense. It's like, just fucking pretend it's all being sweeted with action figures, man. And that story makes sense.
That's what it looked like.
Okay, but that's what they did. Like, that's kind of what are you gonna do, right? We're talking about the story. The story makes sense.
I might have to watch it again because I love time travel logic.
That's as close as he could get, though.
I love time travel logic, and I'm still trying to figure out what you said to me. I don't even understand really what you're saying. To me, that was a bit of hand waving, time travel, gobbledygook.
Yes,
but that's not
time travel is not real, and this is a fictional story.
I got it.
And at some point, you have to go. If I want to get any joy out of life at all, I'm just not going to look at that guy has high heels on. You know, it's like you have to just go. That's that guy's deal. Like John Price did me the biggest favor of all time. Like about a year ago, I was getting just as wound up as you are about the Exeter thing, which is why I'm wearing this. And I finally got to a point where like, hey man, I see his eyes glazing over digitally or whatever, and I'm like, sorry. And he just goes, hey man, that's your thing. And it was just such a like nothing thing to him. And it was just everything to me. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? That is my thing. And guess what? Everybody else has their thing too. And so like, do I have to like tell everybody on the internet that they're wrong all the time? No, that's just their thing. But so that's why I'm saying this is a big thing for me, Dan, to try to explain this to you, because I've pretty much given up.
Okay,
on
but so
these
in
kind
that
of conversations.
universe that they ended up in, his mom's still dead.
Yes, that's as
but
close
his
as
dad,
you
but
can
his
get,
dad is exonerated.
yes,
And Batman is different because, and he was not expecting that. There's
no,
unexpected
Batman's always
changes.
been.
I don't see that goes right.
Batman is
I
not
don't get that
different,
at
man.
all. I don't get that.
So, can we bring Star Trek into this?
Please.
And other multiverse
Don't do
things
that.
like Marvel, like. I mean, there's two roadies, right? There's a Terrence Howard roadie and a Don Cheadle roadie, right?
True.
Why is that not collapsing your enjoyment of every Marvel movie ever?
I mean, because there's two Darren Stevens in
does.
Bewitched.
Okay.
Because those are actors. I don't
And
care.
there's three Batmans. The problem is they're just trying to explain it in this one, and you didn't like the explanation. It's just Batman. It's always Batman.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
Batman
I get, and because Batman is a constant in every unit. He's one of those things that cannot change in the universe that they talked about.
They
Like, there's
didn't
always
say
going to be
that.
a Batman. Well, they said there's certain points. That was a huge point of the movie, that there's certain things you cannot change. They underscored that many times, by the way, when his mother told him that there was some questions there's no answer to, for a homework question that there was a clear and obvious answer to, by the way.
Not in that dimension. That's
okay.
all
Yes.
The answer to everything is, well, that's in that timeline. They don't have physics or whatever, right?
They don't have a symbol for
Sag
infinity, which is the answer. I don't.
Sag heard me almost say Terrence Stamp roadie instead of Terrence Howard. So that's awesome. Because I want to see a Terrence Stamp roadie too. Rather than the stock.
And then what happened to Pattinson? I mean, it was just like he wasn't around when they filmed it. What, like, that guy?
They just didn't go to that dimension.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you over this yet? Because
I get it. I just didn't like it, I guess. All right.
My favorite story about this movie is, even Price will like this one. There's a bit where Ben Affleck whips around in the bat cycle, and they're filming it. And in the movie, one of the CG things that looks a little ropey is the capes, because they do that CG cape wave thing. And
okay.
It's like not even just Batman, just every character with those things. It just kind of doesn't work for me. But I'm like, that's what you got to do. He's got a cape. If you're hanging a guy off a crane 30 feet in the air and it's a fabric cape, it's just going to hang there. So, okay, they do this. It looks dynamic. Hey, right on. But there's a bit where he wipes out on the thing as he's taking a 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was watching them film that. And because he's a costume and movie prop and parts guys, he goes running down there because he saw parts flying off the bat cycle.
Nice.
So he's like, oh, this is it. I'm going to get fucking screen used bat cycle part because they cleaned up and there's just shit everywhere. So he finds a little piece of metal and he takes a picture of it and points it on it, puts it up on the prop sites. And I go, hey man, like when I was in college, my friends and I used to get drunk and just walk around, and we used to find these little metal strips just like that in streets. And we never knew what it was. They weren't all over the place, but we would find them often. And he's like, well, what? No, man, this is from the bat cycle. I'm like, hang on. One day I was looking for old Playboys or something out on the sidewalk recycling, and I see there's this giant chunk of a street sweeper brush. And sure enough, those little metal strips are the bristles from the street sweeper.
That's great.
And so, like, go ahead and frame it, but just like say that's the street sweeper bristle from the filming of The Flash. And he blocked me. He was so angry.
Oh no.
That's amazing.
So that's why I love that little shot in The Flash. I'm like, oh yeah, I finally identified a found object in a movie prop. It just didn't go the way the guy liked it.
And I guess
That's
part of my
pretty great.
disappointment was how much I really did love all those parts. Like all of the Batman action scenes were like, yeah, we want a Batman movie more like that. Like I do agree that like the Affleck Batman might be the most comic accurate screen Batman that we've ever seen.
Agreed. My thing about Ben is well known. I think that's the best iteration of Batman on screen. just because he got through that whole thing, like, I'm killing people, I lost religion, and then I get it back from a guy whose mom is named Martha too. The alien's more human than I am. And then now I get to give the Flash shit. Like, the Flash is like, hey, Bruce, how come you're not fucking saving the world, man? And he's like, yeah, I thought I would go, save the world from this virus falling into Gotham River. And why don't you go do the run fast thing, Flash? And that was great. I loved it.
I mean, this does wrap up the Snyderverse, right? Like, this is it, and it's a clean break from here on out. That's why I almost wish they had ended with the original Clooney-less ending that they showed for this thing. You know what I mean? Where it was like open-ended, like, who is that? Who is Batman going to be now? And it's almost like an open question. I could have went for that.
Is George Clooney actually in the movie?
Yeah.
All right, great. I'll see it now.
He walks out of the limousine, and Flash is talking to him on the phone, and it's sort of growling. You can't tell whose voice it is. Because it just sounds like Batman. I'm right there. And he gets out, and it's a guy in cool Italian suit. And they pan up, and it's George Clooney with a little beard. Yeah, he's like, hey,
because, and I'd say it's George Clooney because, that was one of the unexpected, unintended changes of the last small change that Barry made. Was it changed who Batman was again in his universe? But now it's the end. This universe is gone. They're throwing it out, and we're into the James Gunn era universe.
Right.
Now,
so you see that they didn't change Batman, right? It's just this Barry Allen ended up in the multiverse where George Clooney is Batman. And now we are going to the James Gunn universe where Arnie Hammer is Batman.
I see where you're going with this. I guess it's a distinction. I guess it's a quibble on how we're seeing it, but I get it. I get what you're trying to say.
Is it quibble or is it how comics work? Batman always wins.
I don't know. Yeah, I get it. But I thought, I thought this was like a cautionary time travel thing.
It's just nonsense. Aquaman is still Snyderverse, so we have one more. So I accidentally, but also there was that scene at the end of this one where Aquaman's all drunk and Flash went to go see him. And at least Aquaman is born in this one. He just seems to be kind of a schmuck. Because in Barry's original timeline, remember he calls Tamora Morrison and he's at the lighthouse and his dad's life is all the same. He just didn't have a kid because he didn't meet what's her name, the Queen of Atlantis, whatever her fucking name is.
So when he
Gal Gadot,
no, that's the Queen of Labial Land.
So what you're saying when he says that line about to the reporter that he doesn't understand about the spaghetti being straightened and all that stuff, what you're saying is he thinks
I really want spaghetti.
He thinks he's back in his in his own universe. He thinks he is. Okay, but in reality, he's in this other timeline that was created from that small change that did lead to this time.
Yeah, I wasn't paying 100% attention, but that was either the third or fourth timeline because he doesn't even get that that's happening, that he's going to another timeline until they have that Eric Stoltz, Michael J. Fox conversation.
Yes,
that's halfway through the movie.
Yes, so you're saying at the end he thinks he pulled off the miracle, but
that's why he doesn't get Clooney.
Yeah, it makes more sense through that lens. It does make more sense through that lens.
Agreed.
Although the tooth thing for the last shot of the movie to end on a bad special effects shot, it's like it was like their version of the Cavill mustache. It's like it's really hard to do things with the face and stuff, and it was just so glaringly not real. It was just one last thing to make me go, bah, this movie.
I love Rick saying that whole end credit thing was a complete waste of time. It kind of wasn't because that was just emphasized. It wasn't to me anyway. It was just emphasizing that Aquaman is still in the world if you want, and it's still Jason Momoa. Although James Gunn is definitely going to make him Lobo. He is. You don't even need to change costume. You just point the camera at Jason Momoa. That's a Lobo.
Okay. Can we do one thing? Because I feel like John's curiosity is peaked enough to want to watch this movie, so we can get his take.
I just want to see Clooney. I just want to fast forward to the Clooney scene.
But can I get just in the chat? Can I get a one? Type the number 1 if you like this movie. and type the number 2 if you didn't like the movie. That's all I want to know from the Serious Star. Just want to take the pulse. I want to get take the temperature on the Serious Star Trek.
I love how nobody is answering you.
Come on, people, put yourself on the record. What's going on here?
It's fine, man. You got to give people.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
See,
a lot of ones.
Everybody,
a lot of ones.
I will honestly say, I liked it, but that doesn't mean it's a good movie. I like a lot of bad movies.
Well, why does that even matter if it's a good movie or not?
I liked parts of it. Like I said, I can't say I like it as a film. I don't like it, but I like parts of it a lot. I like scenes of it.
It's not going to have any bearing on
I like it. No, I don't. I don't like it.
No, like I said, there's parts that I like, but I can't say as a film that it's good. It's not like it's
all one so far.
It falls. Everybody says like it, so I'll take that. That's good. I'm willing to stream it. Probably I'll bet most people streamed it and didn't go to the theater. Larry, you cared enough to see it in the theaters. You put your dollars down and your life at risk.
And I were there opening day because my kid and I love multiverse stuff. We're waiting for Loki season 2. Like we love all multiverse stuff is amazing. And that's the only way. Like, the thing, he won't let me shave my beard. Like when he was 3, I asked him if I could shave my beard. And he's like, no, you can't shave until I say so. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And we're on year 16 now. But so I tell him all the time is like, if you let me shave, that's going to be me in the multiverse, right? I'll shave my head and I'll take my glasses off. I'll look like a completely different guy. That's daddy in the multiverse.
That makes sense.
Yeah, except he's like, no, that's my fucking nightmare. And I'm like, no, but he actually says fuck a lot too. It's his mother. It's not me. He goes, no, I love multiverse and fiction because you get to see, how it's going. The Road Not Taken, Robert Frost, You're from Vermont. I'm sick of you saying that. That's cool, but I don't want that to ever happen. Like, you could be married to someone else or you could be like died in a car accident. I'm like, Jesus, fuck, you're dark, man. I just was like, look, Spock's got a beard. That's what I like. Like, the Flash is wearing a Batman suit where he cut the ears off. That's cool. He's like, yeah, go see the movie, Dad.
Well, do you consider the mirror universe a multiverse? That's an awful thought. I don't want to think that.
No, but like, I also having conversations with my kid. He knows all the difference between a multiverse and a parallel dimension, and
okay, good,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, that's just you want a soda or a pop? It's one of those things. Nobody's really giving a shit.
What's going on in the Jeffries tube over there?
I like how Chris brought his nephew to see it. I didn't even know he had a nephew because he always talks he talks about his niece all the time.
Learn something new every day.
Did we though? I just think we listened to Dan rant about like why he
for some reason. You guys want to talk about Star Trek for like 5 minutes?
That'd be awesome.
Or?
Either Star Trek or like AI. Like what?
Literally anything else. I'm
looking forward. You said Lower Decks is starting September 7th.
Yeah, man. Lower Decks is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I try to not look at. A lot of people look at like predict. They have my 100% trust at this point. You can do whatever the fuck you want on Lower Decks. I'm with you until I'm not.
Yeah, Lower Decks is one of those. There's no real thing to even really try to predict, right? They'll throw a little thing in, like Mariner's mom is like in trouble, but like they deal with it immediately. Oh, look, Shax is dead. Oh, wait, sometimes bridge people just come back. It's like 3 episodes later. That was fantastic. Right. So like,
and I love the whole PTSD.
If a show is doing that and it totally works, there's no way you can predict what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Hopefully, Strange New Worlds never comes back. That would be good.
Wait, can we not leave Lower Decks for one more quick thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sagasag told me, because I don't keep track of the Star Trek comics, but they knew the cartoon crossover was coming. So some brainiac over at IDW or whoever's got the Star Trek license now just brought Shax onto a ship and they draw him like he's a regular guy and a nemesis, uniform.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, I'm Lieutenant Shax on loan from the USS Cerritos, but he's just a dude. I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome. So anyway, I was like, yeah, a little more of that. Brad, just swap those guys back and forth, and don't even address it. Just here's Boimler again. Oh, hey, what's up, Boimler? You know.
Yeah, that comic they do that a lot. They bring a lot of. It's focused on Benjamin Sisko is like the main character. He's got a new ship and everything. It's an ugly ass ship, but that's besides the point. But they bring in like I think Tuvok's in there. I think like all sorts of different characters are in there.
Cool.
So yeah, it's fun. Good old Shax. I was just binging that again a couple weeks ago, and man, the series, the season finale when they actually get to eject the warp core, and like people are like chanting in the hallways, like Shax, we're so proud of you. You get to eject the warp core. You know, I fucking love that show, man. It's so good. It's so positive.
You can totally tell that they just love Star Trek, right?
Yeah,
and it's so funny because Discovery, you can tell they hate Star Trek.
They fucking hate Star Trek.
Yeah. And then Strange New Worlds, it's like, I think it's more like Akiva hates Star Trek but secretly loves it. Like some kind of, what did they call that? Just self-hatred, right?
Self-loathing.
He hates that he likes it. So he can speak the language and like is mad that that's what's giving him people's attention.
Yeah, no kidding.
That he's good at this cool thing that he doesn't like.
Goldsman is someone who like is fluent enough in Star Trek, but also wants to like sit at the cool kids table.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not one of those nerds.
Right, I'm cool.
Kids.
I'm cool. I got a girlfriend. You know? I had sex."
Meanwhile, Mike McMahon over there is fucking, running the nerd to Gable. Yeah.
Mike McMahon is like, my Star Trek action figures are having sex. That's the cool thing. Right. Like, yes, because we want to be entertained.
Fuck yeah, it is, man. Fuck yeah.
Anyway. Poor Dan. Anyway. We lost Dan on Star Trek like we lost you on.
No, I love your joy, guys. I love
he's having
the joy,
moment, man.
That's
Dan
there.
is a moment.
My wife called. I gotta get out of here pretty soon and go pick up the kids. So she goes, Dan, I can hear you ranting about the Flash from my office, which is like,
you know what else is cool? You should tell her, honey, the whole internet can hear me ranting about the Flash.
Well, she likes almost any movie we see. She fell asleep on this one though, too. So like me, it's tough for me to judge. To judge it that way, I think time will tell.
That movie is pretty, like, if you don't know who like Tommy Tomorrow is, you're not gonna fucking get that movie. So I mean, I appreciate it for what they were doing.
I know who that is.
I think they nailed it. I just think that the audience.
I know who that is.
But I didn't like the movie so much. But I will say that I would rather watch this again, I think, than ever watch Justice League again. It's a far superior movie to the Justice League movie to me.
I did see Justice League. We should have talked about Justice League. I saw that movie.
Why do you do that, though? That's like comparing all the girls that you bone. Like,
yeah, I do that all the time. You should see my other website. You should see my
other people.
I do
That's your Eskimo brothers. You know,
that's on my other website.
It's on when you're in line at the bank. That's one thing. Anyway.
Well, like
I got dark fast.
Of modern superhero movies that I think I want to go back and watch again, there's several. There's a lot that I never have to go back and revisit, but there's a few that I like that I would, that I consider like perennials that held up really well.
Okay.
Not many. I don't know if this was one of them or not.
No, this can't be one of them. It's just too dense. Like movies that hold up are like the Richard Donner Superman, or the Joe Johnston First Avenger, the first Cap.
Batman Returns. That fucking movie holds up, man. That movie's awesome.
I guess if you like Batman.
Fuck yeah. I feel like Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer's. Hell yeah, dude.
That entire movie is worth it for Michelle Pfeiffer licking Batman's face.
Oh my god, dude! Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken's the bad guy who shoves her off and fucking kills her. That movie's. I'm gonna go watch that movie.
I watched a video that said Guys, I watched a video that said this. That said Dark Man is actually the better movie than Batman. I think I agree with that. Like Dark Man, I really wish had continued on and done sequels to and stuff. I thought it was awesome. I like Raimi more than Burton.
Yeah, is Dark Man? Is that the one with Damon Wayans?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. I don't want to see that.
He plays a guy who can use other people's faces.
Who am I thinking? I'm thinking of Blank Man. You ever seen?
Yeah, you are thinking of Blank Man. Yeah, you are.
Fuck yeah, Blank Man.
No,
Dark Man. Blank Man.
I haven't seen it forever, but it made me want to go back and rewatch it because I remember that actually being a pretty cool movie.
Liam Neeson. I'm this close to writing in defense of Ron Tracy article. I'm gonna do that someday.
Yes.
Do it. So sad.
And Flash got to kill a lot of folks too. Got to kill Kryptonians. Flash is like gutting Kryptonians. It was awesome.
Did you hear the press on that? What's that actor's name? Michael Shannon, the guy who plays Zod. He calls up Zack Snyder and says, "Yeah, they asked me to do this multiverse thing where he plays Zod again. I don't get it." He's like, "Oh no, you died in our movie, but this is just another branch of history where you didn't die." And he's like, "Cool, but I want you to be okay that I played." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't care. This isn't my General Zod. You can go take their money." And I thought that was great.
That's very good.
That's how you watch that. Yeah. That's how you watch that movie, though. Hey, look, Michael Keaton's Batman again. What's going on? Who cares? This is great. Hey, that girl from Pandorum has never been in another movie. They got her from her real estate job, selling real estate in Denmark, to come be the Kryptonian girl again.
It makes me really want to see that shelved Catwoman, or was it Batgirl movie where Keaton played Keaton Batman.
Yeah, that was Batgirl.
It makes me want to see that just to see how many of the same lines I feel like they made a choice. They're like, we can't put out both of these movies. We can't blow
I think that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to care again. I'm just going to see what's in front of us.
Okay.
The one thing I do wish that I was able to see was the pilot they made off of the spinoff off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Eric Sister and Nick Hunter.
Oh yeah, I
most wanted because
I wish I could see that. Yeah,
it was Delroy Lindo playing Dominic Fortune.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Holy shit! And he's running them as sort of extra governmental spies. They do all the dirty shit S.H.I.E.L.D. can't do. Dude, where's that TV show? I can't even believe that they didn't just take that episode and just run it as an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just to get the advertising money.
Did they ever bring in the Paladin to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? That's another one of those weirdo early 80s Marvel ones.
It's a cool name, though.
Well, what I love the most, name. I want to wrap this up on a hopeful note about superhero movies, if I can, because everybody talks about superhero fatigue, right? But
not everybody talks about that.
Yeah, not everybody. But I think all it's going to take is a great Fantastic Four movie and a great X-Men movie again, and we'll get another 10 years out of it. If they can
pop culture loves X-Men.
Get another 30 years.
Yeah.
General population loves X-Men. Once they get a good X-Men thing going, you're good. You're right. Everyone will be like, oh, tried MCU and it was awesome, and now we're here for the X-Men. Everybody loves the X-Men.
It's kind of what Marvel Comics almost turned into. That's what X-Men turned into. Marvel Comics, half of the line over there. It's like Batman is to DC. And now we've got time. That's time, guys. I gotta get out of here.
All right.
I wanted to do a show Thursday, Larry, and talk about comics, but I want to, but dude,
after you do an interview with Walker Young with the Untitled Walker Young Project, the whole industry just goes down.
It goes down.
Who do you talk to after that? Jim Rugg, Don Simpson? Who cares, right?
I'm gonna do an all Flash movie hate stream coming. I'm gonna do an 8 hours of just venting my spleen.
Painful. That was like listening to you try to talk me into becoming a Jehovah's Witness.
It felt good. It was cathartic. It felt all right.
I love it.
And we'll be back. Listen, we'll talk about this.
Sorry,
just
John.
The show. even without Star Trek, there's no shortage of stuff to talk about on Serious Star Trek, right? So I know that we'll come back. I think next week I'm free next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Earth time.
I should have a new Star Trek uniform next week.
Okay. But John, who didn't get to
Nice.
say much on this episode, John, where do you Oh, the timing couldn't have been better. Where do you think we should do this next week?
Gotham City.
This is Tobor. Tobor, the telepsonic robot. Batteries not included. He's under your control. With a click from the telepsonic commander, to circle, to proceed forward, to circle, or to pick up the support module and return, all on your command. Tobor is robot spelled backwards. Tobor, the telepsonic robot from Shopper.